Hello everyone, my name is Enrique and welcome to another review. Once again, I'm reviewing something WWE related, and that is of course a Money in the Bank 2025 taking place, of all places, if you watch the news, in Los Angeles, California. So yeah, for those who don't know, a lot of things are happening in LA considering the group ICE, which honestly, like I said, I don't like to talk about politics, but it's honestly, if you ask me, it's the second time that something happens in LA when WWE is around. I mean, think about it. At the beginning of the year, a wildfire happened in LA when they shoot Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It's unbelievable. And then at this moment, when they do a pay-per-view and Money in the Bank, something happens, and that is with the people of ICE. And if you watch the news, you probably know what it is. Regardless of all things, I think it's important to just try to keep a calm mind and just support each other in these times, crazy times. Regardless of what you feel, let's just try to have fun and talk about this pay-per-view as well. But yeah, it's basically another Money in the Bank pay-per-view. If you don't know, the rules of Money in the Bank are basically that if you win the briefcase, then you get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, whether it's WWE or World Heavyweight title. So, regardless of World Championship you choose, if you have the Money in the Bank, you can cash in at any moment, at any time. And we have some winners and we have some losers. We have the returns of people, and we have a lot of things. I should also mention that the podcast that you're hearing right now is actually the first one that is going to be on Spotify. So if you don't want to just see videos about me talking and you just want to listen to my voice, then go ahead, go to my Spotify and you will have your podcast without images. But if you want to keep watching my images of the things that happen, just keep watching the YouTube version. Hopefully one day I'll have better production, but in the meantime, this is how I make my living. Well, not exactly, but this is how I maintain my sanity, so to speak. Regardless, let's talk about the pay-per-view of Money in the Bank. So it starts with the women's division. So we start with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We had Naomi, we had Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, we had Roxanne, and we have Stephanie McCare and Gilla from the NXT show. So yeah, we have two call-ups from NXT to the main roster, and are Stephanie McCare and Gilla. Two different world champions in NXT, but now they're making their debuts in a pay-per-view as massive as Money in the Bank. So kudos for those two women. But yeah, basically the match was centered around grabbing the briefcase and who was going to use the Money in the Bank briefcase. So who had the most to win? A lot of women, you can make the arguments. We can say that Roxanne has most wins since she started as well in the main roster of WWE. Others have said that maybe Rhea Ripley or Alexa Bliss could use the win. And even people thought that Stephanie McCare and Guilla could be the potential winners, considering the fact that they're debuting for NXT and they're going to make some big waves. But there was only one winner in this case, and that is Naomi. The match was nothing to write home about again, but it was very special to see all women showcasing their abilities. It was basically very, very hard hitting, using the ladders as well. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, in the end, it was Naomi who got the victory, and this is something that I have to give credit to good mic work. Or as you know him as Greg Morgan, the guy who does podcasts of wrestling for a living, just predicted it this year that Naomi was going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase after WrestleMania. That in the match between her and Jade Cargill, that eventually will lead to Naomi winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, which is pretty crazy to predict, but yeah, he got it right. And it makes sense. Naomi, now that she's a heel, has a new attitude, theme, and attire. It's only a matter of time before she starts making big waves in the women's division. And now that she has the Money in the Bank briefcase, now she has to figure out which champion is she going to cash in. Is it going to be Tiffany, or is it going to be Io Sky? So it all depends on her, but judging by the stories, I would say that she's going to use the briefcase to cash in and take the championship away from Tiffany, and somehow it will lead to Naomi and Jade Cargill having a rivalry for the championship this time. Like I said in past videos, the Naomi and Jade Cargill rivalry is going to get big, and the match was great. But yeah, it is only gonna get bigger if they push it correctly. So kudos for Naomi. In fact, Bailey congratulated her on social media. So it's good to see that she's still making moves. And then Naomi, for what I understand, is the first Afro American woman to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that is something special. So congrats to Naomi. Let's hope how is she going to use the Money in the Bank briefcase. And let's see what happens. Other stories we're probably going to see. Alexa Bliss could get into a story with other women in the division, maybe with Tiffany. Maybe she's going to be involved in the YS6. I don't know. I just hope that Alexa does great. Gula, I hope she also starts making moves in SmackDown. Stephanie McCare, very Latina. She's from Chile, so it's good to know that she's already been called up to the main roster. And I hope she does well. I really hope that this begins for, things that are better for her. The beginning of new things. And as far as Roxanne goes, I'm pretty sure she's going to start in a new story along with Liv Morgan, and it's going to involve the Judgment Day. So I'm glad that Roxanne is doing a lot of things as well, and hopefully she does well as well. So yeah, not as special for the match, but I'm glad that I saw it. A match that I never saw coming was the one between Dominic Mysterio and a wrestler from AAA, which I wasn't expecting. The wrestler from AAA in this case is named Octagon, which is, I'm probably going to be called dumb for this, but for what I understand, he had a match, a tag team match, or I think a triple tag team match with in Worlds Collide. I should probably talk about that show as well because it's significant for a lot of reasons, particularly with WWE and AAA. But regardless, this he's pulling double duty, and I should mention Stephanie Vaquero and Octagon are pulling double duty because they both wrestle and Worlds Collide, and it was the same Saturday at the same night. So yeah, that is a lot to put, but it's good to know that there was a match. Apparently, it happened at Worlds Collide that the match was set up. You see, Dominic Mysterio was disrespecting Octagon, I think, after the match. And then Dominic got so angry that he called Octagon to fight for the Intercontinental Championship, which Dominic is holding at the very moment. And those two had a very cruiserweight match. And I gotta say, it's pretty good. It's pretty special. And I'm pretty glad that this guy, Octagon, got a match in a big main event pay-per-view for a big company like WWE, and that it was with Dominic Mysterio, the son of Rey, and has a lot of potential going around. I'm pretty sure that this is a good showcase. Now, I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't seen Worlds Collide. I know the results, but it's good to know that wrestlers from different places from Mexico are giving their best in a big wide company like this and fighting in a big match with Dominic Mysterio. So yeah, in the end, it was a very high flying match, very hard hitting, very flying around, but it was pretty short. So yeah, there was a lot they had to go around. In the end, it was Dominic Mysterio who got the win after Liv Morgan helped Dominic to win. Like they're continuing the story between Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan being together, but eventually, that is going to split up and it's going to cause a lot for both sides. And who knows what Dominic is going to do? If he is going to pursue Roxanne or if he's going to do something different so he doesn't run the same story over and over again of being paired with another woman who is light years away from him. But hey, eventually it is gonna break, and I think this is a story that is going to break. But next we got another match, which was Becky Lynch versus Lydia Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Now, this story has begun since WrestleMania. You see, Becky Lynch returned and was paired with Lydia Valkyria in order to win the Tag Team Championship away from Liv and Raquel. But after they lost, Becky attacked Lyria and she was basically becoming a new heel, going after Lyria and her championship to prove that Becky was still around, that she was still the man. It was revealed by Becky that she attacked Bayley before their match at WrestleMania because she was jealous of her. And yeah, this was supposed to be the culmination between the rivalry between Lyria and Becky. Because as you all know, Becky and Lyria have been going around fighting each other since NXT days. Ever since Lyria won the NXT championship from Becky, it was basically a rivalry that has been going around for, at the very least, a year or no, a couple of years. But it was a good showcase for both women. Becky and Lyria going out of the way to put a good match. It was a really great match, hard hitting. Both women trying to showcase the best of their abilities, the high fly, the moonsaults, the submission maneuvers, everything. But it was only going to lead to one winner. It was a good showcase for Lyria. She has developed ever since she was called up to the main roster this year, becoming Women's Intercontinental Champion for the first time, the first woman to become an Intercontinental Champion. But yeah, this was a very brutal case. In the end, it was Becky who got the victory. And despite everything that they have been through, Becky wants the respect from Lyria to raise her hand, to put the title around her waist. And she did so. But Lyria was feeling the disrespect and attacked Becky afterwards, basically to show that she's still around despite everything. And while we don't know what's going around, at the time of this recording, Bayley has returned and attacked Becky Lynch. So yeah, this is going to be basically either a triple threat match for Night of Champions or maybe Becky is going to fight Bayley one-on-one at Night of Champions. I don't know. But the point is that now Becky has become our champion of three different fronts: the Intercontinental Champion, the Women's Champion, and the Tag Team Champion, and all in the same company. So yeah, Becky is going around, and while she's a heel, she's still the best, and I hope this is a good showcase for her. A lot of rumors have gone around that maybe she might be joining forces with Seth Rollins. After all, they're both married, and she joins it along with Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker, stupid name by the way, and Bronson Reed. Why they don't call Braun Breaker Brex Steiner? It's a better name. But regardless, it was a good showcase for both women, a continuation of the rivalry, but it's not going to be the last of their matches. I'm pretty sure they're going to continue later in the year or maybe in the future. So yeah, pretty good showcase. But yeah, now let's talk about the men's ladder match for the Money in the Bank briefcase this time. All the competitors are Seth Rollins, Penta, Andrade Cien Almas, Chad Gable. Oh, I'm sorry, the El Grande Americano. Sorry, I've always confused those two. Solo Sikoa and LA Knight. I think that's all of them, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that's all of them. But yeah, this was a good showcase. This was a much longer match than the women's one. I always baffled that they don't give women more time to these ladder matches. I know that they don't have the same defenses in body structure, but still, they're good women, and honestly, they can showcase a lot of much incredible moves that you think. But yeah, still, this was a fun ladder match. We see a lot of offense, a lot of trickery. Chad Gable trying to put the everybody down with his metal plate. He brought in a ladder called the Fireball. I don't know what's going on with that, but it was hilarious to see. Seth Rollins trying to gain the upper hand. So we continue the stories with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. During the match, we see that Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are go out there to help Seth to win the Money in the Bank briefcase by taking out everybody. Then Solo Sikoa summons Jacob and JC Mateo in order to take down the Seth Rollins goons. They do so, and Jacob seems to help Solo to win the briefcase, only to stop him at the last minute. And we see the face turn for Jacob Fatu. He's finally sick and tired of Solo Sikoa, and instead of waiting for him to betray him, he just flat out betrays him and says the ominous words, I hate you, Solo. And he puts him down. He even gives him, I think, hits him with a choke slam or, I don't know, something, a choke slam through a ladder. And yeah, that's the end of both Solo and Jacob's, union. Now, this is not going to be the new bloodline. So the question remains, what is Jacob going to do? What is Solo going to do? After all, he formed a new bloodline, but now he failed, and now Jacob is on top as the U.S. champion. And even though he has JC Mateo alongside with him, it's not going to be the same. So yeah. Now, we don't know what happened to Tomatonga and Tongaloa at this moment, so all we know is that if they return, there's going to be explosive. And if it's going to happen at SummerSlam or United Champions, then it has to be something big and powerful. But yeah, back to the match. It was all pointing out, and this is something I forgot to mention. LA Knight, hometown boy from Los Angeles, was the one favorite for many to win the briefcase since it will make things unpredictable. But in the end, because it was Seth's time, he won once again the briefcase and got the victory. So yeah, Seth Rollins has become once again the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and now he is going to hold it for how God knows how long, and who knows what kind of championship is he going to choose. And I'm gonna get in a moment why it is. But yeah, basically Seth is your new Money in the Bank holder, so we have to wait and see what he does with the briefcase. So in the last match, we see both Cody Rhodes and World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso against the WWE Champion John Cena and Logan Paul. Now, this was set up a couple of weeks ago during a match between John Cena and R-Truth. That's going to become important later on. But yeah, after the match, after John Cena wins, we see that John was trying to help Logan Paul to win the World Heavyweight Championship from Jey Uso, but Cody Rhodes returns and challenge and manages to help Jey to retain the championship. Unfortunately, it led to a tag team match between John Cena and Logan Paul versus Cody and Jey, which I was hoping for a different match. I was hoping for John Cena versus CM Punk, but we're gonna get that in the future. Because at the time of this recording, like I said, John Cena is going to challenge or is going to face CM Punk at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. It may be a spoiler, but I haven't said anything about the match. But yeah, basically both Jey and Cody face against John and Logan to prove once again who is the better man. So yeah, they continue their matches from WrestleMania, kind of a sort of rematch, but it was in a tag team match, so it doesn't count. The point is that John Cena has gone around saying over and over again that he will leave as the real champion, that he will take the WWE Championship away from WWE and leave everyone behind, and proclaims that Logan Paul is the next World Heavyweight Champion and the next face of the WWE, which was going to be put to the test in this match, and let's just say that they didn't get along very well. In fact, John Cena throughout the match was getting sick of Logan Paul, and Logan Paul was trying to get the better of the match, but he was always trying to feeling aggravated because John Cena was trying to teach him, but he didn't want to be taught. Logan wanted to do things his own way. And it was basically this heel selfish men fighting each other, which allowed the upper hand for both men. We saw a lot of incredible spots. We see Jey spearing John Cena on top of the commentary table. We see Cody Rhodes landing like a moonsault to Logan Paul, or I think it was a spine buster through the top of the turnbuckle. And while that was happening, Logan Paul was recording through his camera. So yeah, a lot of things. The referee was taken down during the match, which allowed John Cena to hit Cody Rhodes with the championship. But lo and behold, we saw R-Truth attacking John Cena, helping Cody and Jey to get the victory. So yeah, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso became the winners. And we saw the return of R-Truth. Now, the reason I saying this is because after the match between John Cena and R-Truth at Saturday night's main event, the news came that R-Truth was released from WWE, or that we're not going to renew his contract, from what I understand, which caused a lot of people to get angry and sick because people love R-Truth. In fact, R-Truth seemed to be the voice or the heart of WWE for a long time, and the fact that he was fired or let go didn't sit well for a lot of people, didn't sit well with the audiences. So everybody expected R-Truth to leave WWE and go to another company, maybe go to TNA, or maybe try his hand at AEW, or maybe just do something different, or maybe go to a different wrestling company away from the other ones. But in the end, it turned out that R-Truth came back. But this is something that I need to explain because a lot of people didn't know if this was a work or if it wasn't. But it turned out that after the release, a lot of people were calling out for WWE to bring him back. In fact, a lot of wrestlers in the back I think protested that they should bring R-Truth back to the company, and because he not only, like I said, he was the heart of the WWE. He brought a lot of comedic timing and a lot of heart to moments that probably WWE needed. But yeah, the backlash and the reaction was so big that Triple H brought our truth back, but with a twist, because on Raw it was our truth came, but he no longer wanted to be our truth because because our truth was very funny and very submissive. So and this is something that shocked me. After the Money in the Bank, after attacking John and basically helping Cody and Jay, on Raw, it was R-Truth shaved his head and his strands and basically said that his name is Ron Killings. And here's the thing, Ron Killings was the original name of R-Truth. You see, during his early days, when he was in the 2000s, when he was shipping back and forth with WWE and TNA, we saw that Ron Killings was basically ruthless, that he was very strong, and he was at one point the TNA World Champion. Yeah, there was a time where our Truth was the World Heavyweight Champion in a big company like this, and now that we see that our Truth is leaving behind his whole persona and embraces the original one from Ron Killings from his TNA days, now it's going to be big. It's a good thing that the deal between WWE and TNA has gone around because it will allow for new stories to trend. And this is like almost a forbidden door that we haven't seen before. And it was good to see the new Ron Killings doing massive things. And yeah, put a respect on his name because right now he's going to do things that are very different from the original Truth. I don't know if this is going to mean a new theme song or a new attire, but yeah, the new R-Truth is going to wreak some havoc, and his name is Ron Killings. So yeah, that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now, after the match, we don't know what Logan Paul is going to do. Maybe he will challenge another person. John Cena, once again, reminding us that he is going to leave, and CM Punk is going to challenge him for the title. Once again, bringing back their rivalry from 2011 to 2013. So, yeah, we're going to see that match. And unfortunately, for a lot of people who are fans of Jey Uso, now we have seen on Monday Night Raw that Jay has lost the title to Gunther. So yeah, Gunther is at the time of this recording the new World Heavyweight Champion, which I honestly was baffled because I thought they will allow Seth Rollins to at the very least interfere or try to cash in during the match. But no, I think they allowed Gunter to get the victory, which we should have saw coming during this match. But yeah, I was hoping for Jay to retain. But hey, Gunther is a good wrestler and he's a great one. So it was good to see Jay Uso's run when it lasted. But I don't know how it was doing for people. But yeah, we got Gunther back as world champion. Now he's a two-time world heavyweight champion. Now we don't know if he's going to continue the his run or if he is going to lose this year. So we have to wait and see. But regardless, that was Money in the Bank. We saw a lot of surprises. We saw a lot of different things. We saw a lot of winners, losers, and returns. So let's just hope that this Money in the Bank can be remembered for that and not for the other terrible things that are happening in LA right now. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I think this was a good pay-per-view, nothing big special, but yeah, it was good to see a lot of showcases. Not a big single matches right now, But yeah, basically entertaining pay-per-view, and we probably need it after this week. A lot of things happened this week. Boy, howdy, Jesus. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this review. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet. You can give it a like if you like this video. The more likes I get or the more views I get, the more I can increase my channel. And like I said, you can follow me now on Spotify since I'm now going to put this on Spotify. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you soon. I'm been Enrique. Have a nice evening. Peace.